For one reason or another, there seems to be a lot of fear when it comes to protein, whether on a ketogenic, carnivore, or low carb diet. So today, I'm going to provide some anecdotal evidence as to why I believe protein is important, as well as some links to some studies down below regarding the information we are going to speak about. And before I do that, my name is Jordan, and on my channel I discuss all things keto, carnivore, low carb, provide tips and tricks to help you get your health back on track, as well as sprinkle in some grocery hauls and full days of eating. So if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing below. Now let's dive into the content. Okay, so recently I ran a 7-day experiment surrounding protein and its satiety-inducing effects. And how I did that was, for the first 5 days, I aimed for a 2-to-1 protein to energy ratio, energy for me coming from fats. It ended up being between 40 to about 55% of total calories coming from protein. And I want to show you the results. And then on the last 2 days, I did an ad lib, and these were all really ad lib, eating as many calories as I wanted to along the way. But an ad lib, standard American, eat whatever I felt like kind of day, to see where my calories and macronutrient ratios would end up on those 2 days. So let's go over here and take a look. So on the very first day, which was a week ago Monday, 1,600 calories. Just for example, let's go to the macros. 45% protein, 52% fat, 3% carbohydrate. And as I go through, we'll see that, I got 1,900 calories that day, only 35% protein by percentage. That was also a day I ran 3 miles, so you see the exercise totals in there. But let's go to the Wednesday. I got to 2,000 calories, 49% protein, ended up being 231 grams. But again, you can see I really can't break 2,000 calories very comfortably. 1,500 calories on Thursday, and on Friday, 1,400 calories that day, ending up at 56% protein by calories. That was basically a 3-to-1 protein to energy ratio day. Now, if this will work, go to the next day, Saturday. Ad lib, I did the Gasparilla 5K walk with my family that day. So again, a lot of walking exercise. Only 14% protein, 48% carbohydrates, 307 grams, 37% fat. So you can see only 90 grams of protein. Not much satiety that day, so I was able to drastically overeat energy. And again, the next day, same thing, 2,700 calories. Very easy to overeat energy when lowering protein below, especially 35%. So that was how the 7-day mini trial went for me, just to show, again, anecdotally, how important protein is for its satiety-inducing effects. And I want to talk about some of the details surrounding protein. So in America as a whole, depending on the source you get the information from, you can find information suggesting that the adult population consumes about 3,600 calories per day total. From all 3 macronutrient sources, fats, carbs, and proteins. And around 8 to 14% of that is from protein. So the average adult American gets about 80 grams of protein per day, male and female combined. That, 320 calories a day coming from protein for the average American, and again, a 3,600 calorie consumption on average for the adult. You're still right around 9% protein per day, and that leaves anywhere from, let's give it a big range, 85 to 92% of your calories coming from energy. And we tend to wonder why we have an obesity and diabetes epidemic, both of which are really energy toxicity problems. So we are overeating energy, and the combination of both fats and carbs combined, the body doesn't know how to process both simultaneously. So we end up processing glucose first, as it's a shorter, more readily available fuel source, and then storing dietary fat as adipose tissue on our stomach, and then as that fills up, it spills over and stores in our visceral, around our organs, and then metabolic problems start to occur. So again, this is a long rant to say that protein is really the key to success long term when it comes to reversing some of these metabolic diseases potentially, as well as maintaining a healthy, sustainable body weight while being able to really divulge in the foods you like to eat. So that's some of the data surrounding protein and the American population and caloric information. So now I want to talk a little bit more about the links that I'm linking down below to these studies surrounding things like ghrelin, your basal metabolic rate, energy expenditure, and how important protein is for those things. So let's get into that. So when it comes to weight loss, let's also just get this out of the way that you do need to maintain an energy deficit to lose stored energy or to burn stored energy. So you need to be expending more energy than you are consuming. Protein, not a direct source of energy for the body, which is again why it's great to prioritize your protein. When it comes to protein itself, it's been shown to upregulate satiety hormones like ghrelin and GLP-1, and GLP-1 is glucagon-like peptide 1, and basically what it does is it promotes insulin and therefore glucose in a normal physiological state, keeping them level. It keeps insulin and glucose in normal physiological states, so keeping them level postprandial after meals consumed, which is great for reducing a rebound effect of hunger or a blood sugar and insulin roller coaster where those things are rising after you eat and then crashing, thus causing you to feel hungry more frequently. So again, protein is going to keep those at a very moderate and stable level, thus decreasing the chances that you are getting hungry more frequently, causing you to overeat energy. Protein is the most satiating, and again, I will link this article down below. It was found that when it comes to protein intake, people reported being more satiated at a 60% protein diet compared to a 19% by calorie protein diet, and this was in an isocaloric fashion, so the subjects were eating the same amount of calories, and really just the macronutrient of protein was being changed from 60% down to 19%. Those who ate more protein were more satiated long term. Digestibility of these proteins matters for proper bioavailability and assimilation of these amino acids into tissues you need for the body to properly rebuild and repair the building blocks and the structures of your body. And when it comes to the DIAS score, the digestible indispensable amino acid score, animal foods take the cake by far. Eggs, red meat, fish, things like that are super digestible by the body. Okay, now let's talk about energy expenditure, because obviously, again, that is super important as I get readjusted here to the overall process of losing body fat. And when it comes to energy expenditure, protein takes the cake from a macronutrient perspective. The diet-induced thermogenesis by protein can be anywhere from 15 to 30% of those calories are just being burned. Again, it's not a direct energy source for the body, so the body uses the amino acids it needs to rebuild and repair muscle tissue or grow new muscle tissue and cells, and then wastes the rest. Carbohydrates, only about 10% of those are wasted through diet-induced thermogenesis, and then fat, it's really only up to about 3%. We do store a lot of, really almost all of the excess fat we eat if we're not burning through it through exercise. So keep that in mind. Protein, again, super important when it comes to energy expenditure. Okay, and lastly, in this article, they talk about body composition and weight loss regarding the amount of the level of protein you're eating in your diet. So they did a test, short 2-week test, albeit, but a higher protein group, 2.3 grams per kilogram, and a control group of 1 gram of protein per kilogram. They found that both groups of people lost similar amounts of body fat. Sounds great, so why do I need higher protein? In the higher protein group over this short 2-week study, they were able to maintain lean body mass when compared to the control group, who was eating 1 gram per kilogram of body weight. So, and again, the recommended daily allowance is 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight, or 0.36 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So just understand that if you're consuming that daily minimum, you are going to burn through lean mass as well while you are losing weight. Why is this important in the overall grand scheme of weight loss and body composition maintenance? Because if you are not maintaining lean mass along the process, you are going to lower your basal metabolic rate. Lean mass is the #1 driver of basal metabolic rate. So keeping your metabolism high while still burning through body fat and lowering your overall body weight. Lean mass, a huge driver of basal metabolic rate. So it's very, very important to maintain that lean mass while losing body weight for overall long-term success. That's kind of my rant on protein. Again, I will link studies and articles down below for you to explore this information yourself. I really challenge you to not be afraid of gluconeogenesis, and I challenge you to do your own self-experimentation when it comes to optimal protein levels. Now, in a more obvious way of putting this is, the more protein you're eating by percentage, the less percentage of calories coming from energy. And if you want to just simplify it to an energy in, energy out, yin and yang of weight loss, the less energy coming in, the more opportunity you have to burn more stored energy and get more energy out. So keep that in mind. Please, please, please prioritize your protein. Fill your energy needs with fat. If you're feeling lethargic, you probably need more electrolytes and a little more dietary fat. But if you're struggling with weight loss, I challenge you to lower your fat intake by 10 to 20%. And obviously control your carbs and how often you're eating them. Keep that in mind. Protein and nutrients, required nutrients, go hand in hand. So do not be afraid of getting in your protein every day. And again, I challenge you, if you want to run this experiment with me, I'm going to do a 30-day protein to energy ratio type experiment where I am shooting for about 50% of my calories coming from protein, or 2 grams of protein for every 1 gram of energy, and see how my body composition changes over time. So here's my physique update from this morning. And again, a little puffy after those 2 days of carbs, but so be it. Again, it was for my own knowing, my own experiment, my own N=1. So anecdotal evidence for yourself is priceless for sure. So there's my physique. I'm gonna run this challenge. I have a new Facebook group that I will link to down below, looking for new members who are wanting to optimize their fitness goals and their body composition goals in my Carnivore Keto lifestyle group. So come join us, come ask questions, come share your successes, share your failures, share whatever it is you'd like to with the community, and let's get healthy together. I appreciate you watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.